Michael from Kalani here. Today we'll go through corefill on a blockwork house. Alright, so firstly we've got our blocks, the 200mm blocks. They have a hole in them to accept the concrete to reinforce the job. These X's marked on our walls, that's where a steel bar is coming up from under the slab, and then we're going to tie that into the steel bars in the bond beam. And the bond beam is a horizontal steel reinforcement that we're going to fill with concrete, and that's going to tie the top of the walls to the slab. So if there is a cyclone and the pressure of the wind tries to pull the roof off, the roof is anchored to the slab to resist being pulled off by the storm. So in our preparations for the corefill, we have to check that everything's prepared so it's ready to receive it. So one of the things we need to check is that our door frames are propped so that's nice and firm. So that's going to hold that up so when the weight of the concrete comes, it doesn't sag. So here on a sliding glass door, that's the same thing. We prop this to hold it up. Now I'll have a quick look at the garage one. This one's a little bit different. That's held up by acro props. Because it's 5 meters, that's needs extra support to hold that up when all the weight from the concrete is put inside there. Once we get going, we're going to insert these bolts into the wall, and then later on, that's what the truss is going to be bolted down to tie it all together. So here we are. We're in the final stage of the preparation for the corefill. What we need to do is we need to wet the walls down, because the concrete is going to come out, we'll show you that in a moment, and it's going to be very moist, ready to slide down the walls. But the walls are super dry. If you look up there, the sun's been beating on these walls and they're super dry, and what can happen is the concrete can get stuck and not flow into our walls because the blockwork sucks the moisture out of the concrete and makes it go hard instantly. So what we're going to do to combat that dryness is we're going to wet the walls down with our hose before the concrete goes in. So we'll go in each room, wet each room down, wet the surface of the walls down, and that'll suck into the blockwork because the blockwork is porous still, so we haven't painted it. Then we're going to climb up each room and we'll wet down into the walls. We'll send some water down there to moisten up this. This is a corner bar. This bar is the reinforcement that helps join the corner up, and that's going to go in here to help reinforce this corner. Now we'll just repeat this process in every room to get it ready. Alright, here's one of our other preparations. Here we've drilled holes in the mortar joint, and what we've done that for is we want to be able to see that when the corefill goes down here, it's a bit of a check to make sure that the concrete is going down the walls. So what'll happen, that'll be a telltale. When we put the concrete down there, a little tiny bit of concrete will come out there and it'll automatically stop. We don't need to worry about making a mess, but a little tiny worm of concrete comes out and that lets us know concrete's all the way down the bottom. If you come over here, next to the roller door, we put a hole up at halfway as well and down low so we can make sure this entire thing is full. Alright, this is our concrete truck. We're going to use this to pump the concrete into the walls. The concrete aggie driver will put his concrete in the back here in the hopper. We will pump through the berm, into the hose, and we'll put that into the wall. We're shortening some of these bars because we need to put some bars above the window to tie the bond beam into the lintel above the window. Alright, now we've cut our bars, we're going to put them up into the wall. here we are, we're on top of the wall. We're having a look into the wall, make sure all the steel's here, and have a look at what's going on. Right here, we've got our horizontal bars, and this is forming our bond beam, which later on, our bolt's gonna go into, and that's gonna tie all of this together. Now this is a vertical dropper. This bar is 2.6 meters long. It connects the top of the bond beam to the starter bars that are outside the slab. And there, over there, is an example of a starter bar coming out of the slab. This bar is one of our shorter bars. This is a window lintel bar. That's tying this bond beam above the window together. So we slide that in there, and that's holding that together. For when we do the core fill, it'll all tie together. And see how these bars are all knurled? See how it's not smooth steel? That is to give the concrete extra grip, so these bars can't pull out. Alright, here we are, we're inside one of the bathrooms, and what we've done here is we've pre-provisioned this bathroom for the copper hot and cold water piping and our electrical. So what we've got here, this is the copper pipes. These are for our basin. Those pipes are going up to the roof. Later on we'll connect to those into the ceiling space. This is the pipes that we have for our taps that are going into the wall. Later on we're going to cut the flick mixer into this area here. And over here we pre-provisioned for our power points, and there's a conduit for the cables to be pulled into at a later date. Here we're just putting the concrete in the top of the wall, and that concrete's flowing down the wall, and it's holding everything in place. When it goes hard, it'll hold this whole house together. Alright, here is the final stage of the core fill, where we're going to put our hold down bolt in the concrete. That's it, and later on we'll bolt a bracket on that, and that's where the trusses will be bolted onto. Alright, well that's how we do a core fill. If you like my video, give it a share, give it a like. Thank you.